Hello there, wrestling fans. I thought of this little idea, how we all just should get together and become one big family and share our greatest moments in wrestling, our own wrestling memories. Something that we remember that was just as great. And I'm talking about, it would be interesting, I will share my moment of this and you will share yours, if you want, with others. And that's your first mark out moment due to wrestling that you can ever remember. And I guess most of you people out there knows what a mark is and what a mark out is. Well, a mark, we could bring that back all to the carnival terms, but today a wrestling mark, is someone who watches wrestling and believes that everything they see at TV, on pay-per-view, Raw, SmackDown, ECW, TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever it is, promos, backstage, and the characters of the wrestling, that everything is real. The wrestling characters are actually who the wrestlers are themselves. Full well, to every extent, that's who the wrestlers are. And everything that happens on TV is real, so if CM Punk defeated Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam, that actually means that CM Punk is better than Jeff Hardy at wrestling, because they know, to them it doesn't exist something called a script. And a mark out, so to speak, is when you simply let go of yourself, and when something that you really like happens, you just stand up and you scream at the top of your lungs for all that you're worth, and just you're on cloud 9, virtually on cloud 9. But of course, to this day, we can still talk about markouts. I marked out at SummerSlam when CM Punk defeated Jeff Hardy. It was a big markout moment because I prefer CM Punk so much more than Jeff Hardy, and I wanted CM Punk for champion for so long, and I think he should have kept the title all summer long. But that's my opinion. Hey, but that's why I was a mark that night, because CM Punk won and I was so happy. So what I would like you now to do, people out there, it doesn't matter how long you've been a wrestling fan, if you're a newbie, if you've been in there forever, if you're a mark, if you know everything that goes on, if you're a beginner or whatever, what was your first mark out moment of wrestling that you can remember? That wrestling moment that just simply made your day. It made your day, it made you so happy that you could just float on that wave of happiness for weeks and weeks. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but what was your first mark out moment? My first mark out moment has to be, I believe I started watching wrestling somewhere around 1990. I was 8 years old. I believe it was Survivor Series 1990, I'm not sure, but due to the matches and wrestlers I remember I saw and the card, it kinda is equivalent. But the first mark out moment I had was Hulk Hogan winning the 1991 Royal Rumble. That was so huge to me. I watched that night and I didn't really know what the heck the Royal Rumble match was all about. I just saw guy after guy coming in and I thought, okay, they're teaming up. No, after a while, no, they're not teaming up. What the heck is going on there? But after a while, me and my dad, we figured out that when you're thrown out, you win, you're out, and the last man standing wins. And I didn't know what the heck the winner won anyway. So for me, it was just this match. And in the end, I remember Hulk Hogan getting beat up by, I believe it was Nasty Boy, Brian Knobbs, and Earthquake. This was 2-on-1. They were teaming up, and I hated them so much. And I thought, Earthquake, oh man, come on, he's so fat. There is no way that Hulk Hogan is gonna get Earthquake out of the ring. Simply no way. This guy is huge. Rest in peace, Earthquake. John Tenta, by the way, because he's passed away in 2006, I believe, due to cancer. So all prayers to him. But these were the heels, and to me as a little kid this was all real. These were the bad guys, and looking back now, if I had known better, it was quite apparent that Hulk Hogan was gonna win that Rumble because he was like the only star. I believe Ultimate Warrior was not there because he defended a title on the side of Royal Rumble, lost to Sergeant Slaughter. So it was just Hulk Hogan. There really was no one else being able to win, but I didn't know that. So I was so scared they were gonna beat him up, and I remember he threw Knobbs out, he attacked from behind, got him over, and then after working Hulk Hogan, I was able to just wrap him over the top rope and just throw him out. And I was, oh man, how did he do that? how could he throw that fat big guy out? He was so big and heavy. And of course, I didn't know back then that Hulk Hogan was over 2 meters long himself, but be that as it may as well. So this was my first mark out moment. I just stood there and I screamed, and I remember I watched it on a later date with Dad and some of his, and one friend of his who also liked wrestling, so it was me, a little kid, and 2 grown-ups. And even though I knew that time that Hulk Hogan was gonna win, I still, when I saw it again, just stood there up. I don't remember when I started to jump and scream, but all of a sudden I just caught myself standing there jumping and screaming because Hulk Hogan had won. And they just laughed at me. But to me, Hulk Hogan was the ultimate good, and that was my first mark out moment some 18.5 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. So what was your first mark out moment of wrestling? Share it with us, and we'll just get like a family, share our stories, you know. Have a nice day.